It's time to go over my soccer vlog plans for 2025, but I can't do that without first looking back at the year that was. In 2024, I set out on a quest to find soccer culture in America at various levels, from the tippy top of the pyramid with MLS to the lower leagues of USL and even one wild exhibition match involving a major Bundesliga club. And like Johnny Cash said, I've been everywhere, man. Across the Great Plains, bare, man. I breathe the Florida sea air, man. Of travel, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. Right, me from the past? Well, let's put a number on everywhere. 4,009. Big number in it. It's also the number of miles that I've driven this season to bring you away day vlogs from MLS to USL games on this channel. Now that was before this trip I'm making to see the KC Currents, so add about another 500 miles to that. And since I recorded that back in late September, I've added jaunts to Indianapolis for the USL Championship playoffs, where Rhode Island FC continued its Cinderella run to the finals. More on them later. And then I added one more trip to KC and back for the NWSL Championship, where the legendary Marta finally got to lift her league's prestigious title. Those two trips were roughly 500-mile round trips, so that brings the updated total to 5,509, all in 2024. I wish there was such a thing as frequent driver miles, but this is America, and we just have to suck it up, open up our wallets wide for gas and car maintenance, and drive hours upon hours to get anywhere in this country. And as I was putting together this video, this graphic posted by Men in Blazers kind of highlights the problem in America when it comes to traveling for games. This shows that the longest Premier League road trip from Bournemouth to Newcastle is about 700 miles round trip. It's like going back and forth from Boston to Atlantic City. America is far bigger than that, as you can see. It's why, quite frankly, there's not a lot of people vlogging soccer matches in America. It's just because the travel is so cumbersome. But there is an alternative. Yeah, and that is you can fly to all these places. Here's another big number for you. 4,571. That's the number of miles I've flown this season to bring you away day vlogs in Houston, Omaha, and Tampa. Unfortunately, this is not Europe, where airfare from city to city can be downright cheap. And if you're in Europe and wondering why not just get a cheap train ticket, we sold out to the car companies decades ago because this is
the United States of America. Yeah!
And I know what you're thinking.
You serious, Clark?
Gee, that must have been expensive. I hope all these miles were worth it. It was, but it also wasn't. First, I need to explain what inspired me to even do this journey in 2024. I had set out to learn more about the growth of professional soccer in America because I was quite frankly a bit ignorant to it, and the St. Louligans literally challenged me on the former Twitter to get out there because U.S. soccer culture is alive and well in the lower leagues. I didn't know it at the time, but it was up to me to find that out for myself. And I got a heavy dose of that passion right at the start of my lower league journey when I paid a visit to Indy 11 days after their own city's mayor announced a plan to pull the rug out from under the club and lure a new MLS team to the city.
I will be leading an effort to file a Major League Soccer application and pursue a club for our city.
They're not happy with you, Mr. Mayor. You have a team, it's called the Indy 11. They're furious.
A lower league club that routinely draws about 10,000 per game should be a welcome and celebrated sight in other parts of the world, but in America, there's always bigger capitalistic bait to chase. And it's another reminder of a major obstacle the developing landscape of lower league soccer in America runs into, the giant foot of MLS crashing down upon it. A solid reminder of that big giant foot is with the MLS's treatment of the U.S. Open Cup this year and its efforts to downplay it and even pull out of it. And despite that, Indy 11 made it all the way to the semis of the Open Cup, and the Brickyard Battalion was there in full throat, undeterred by the obstacles thrown in front of them this year, including a long lightning delay before their Open Cup match.
You know, after the bombshell drop with the whole MLS thing with the mayor, you know, the club went on, I think it was 13 matches in a row unbeaten, including 12 wins out of the 13. Yeah. And so, I mean, I can't even remember the last run of form that was that impressive out of Indy 11. And so we were just, you know, we didn't know if we would ever lose again. And on the other hand, we didn't know if we'd have a club tomorrow. But we enjoyed every moment of it, and this is the remnants of it. We're playing in a cup semifinal in the most historic cup competition in the country, and we are the last remaining Division II club. Massive underdogs, but we're on house money. Why not us?
Indy 11 will lose 2-0 to Sporting KC, who themselves had to also go through USL League One's Union Omaha back in May to get to the Open Cup final. It was a modern-day underdog story, a club 2 levels below MLS taking SKC to the absolute limit, with KC only getting the winner in the 119th minute.
Heartbreak in Omaha. 120th minute winner for Sporting Kansas City. Heartbroken doesn't begin to describe what I feel and what a lot of Omaha fans feel right now.
You'll never say that! Champions of League One, you'll never say that!
Like many clubs in the developing landscape of lower league soccer in America, they play in less than ideal spaces. For the Open Cup, Union Omaha played at a nice field at University of Nebraska Omaha, but that's only because their home stadium, a baseball park, wasn't available. It's a situation even Union Omaha supporters admit isn't ideal, but is about to remedy itself.
I'm so excited for the stadium, and I live closer to the downtown. I can literally take public transit to the new stadium. Here it's a 35-minute drive for me, so come out to sweat in the sun, get sunburn. Yeah, it's not ideal, but I love the Owls.
Team officials are still hoping for a 2026 opening date for this new stadium, though ground hasn't yet been broken on it, at least not that I can find. And at the game I went to in August, Omaha took on their rivals Forward Madison. Yes, Forward Madison based out of Wisconsin, over 6 hours away. They're rivals because there just aren't many other clubs in close distance to them because League One just has 12 clubs spread out across America.
Raise the flag of the flag for me. Just do it now. And the rosary beads. Count to 1, 2.
Oh, and the next closest club to Union Omaha in USL League One, these guys right here, Northern Colorado Hailstorm, but they're gone now because they couldn't pay their players, so they got yeeted out of League One. A real hailstorm of a different kind, I guess. And Forward Madison itself is a bit of a story of its own right. They're incredibly colorful, incredibly tropical, and incredibly weird, and that's by design. I mean, they literally embraced the pink flamingo after this one that went viral was used as an unofficial snow gauge. Anyone familiar with Madison knows that for one, it's not exactly flamingo weather, but they also know their unofficial slogan, Keep Madison Weird. And that team is one of the best examples of reflecting its community as you'll find in America. Their fans are loud and just happy to be there. And when I visited the Flock End in June, the game almost felt secondary, which is good because it was a drab 0-0 affair. You felt like you were a part of a party there, and if I were a local, would definitely want to come back. And speaking of baseball stadiums, the Tampa Bay Rowdies play in a former baseball stadium located along the harbor in St. Petersburg. But like Forward Madison, they've made the place into their own, and it actually is a pretty solid place to catch a game.
I like it so far. What do you think?
It's an old baseball stadium. It was used for spring training mostly. And you can tell, but, the view here is awesome. They did go out to where the baseball field was and build some bleacher seats out there. But they didn't out there because you still want to be able to see the marina and see the boats. So I'm kind of glad this stadium was sitting here not doing anything. So why not put in a soccer stadium?
And the Rowdies fans were, well, rowdy. So Forward Madison and Tampa Bay Rowdies play in a former baseball stadium, while Union Omaha plays in a current baseball stadium, just like FC Tulsa, a USL championship club. They're not the most glamorous or flashy of USL clubs like Forward Madison or Tampa Bay Rowdies, but they still draw 4,000 to 6,000 fans a game at their ballpark, which is actually quite nice.
I just want to say that I absolutely adore this downtown backdrop. They oriented this field perfectly so that you can have a view like this from the supporters' end. Perfect perfect and perfect.
But they also have to be creative at times to attract fans. On this particular August night, it was dollar beer night. Yes, beers for just $1 in 2024. Can you frickin' believe it? I couldn't, so I had to go see for myself. I was also there with my cousin and her family. Two of these kiddos are my little cousins, by the way. I'll point them out for you. This was their first ever Tulsa game, and they loved it. All it took was one game, and it wasn't even a thrilling game. It was a 0-0 affair. Draws seemed to follow me around during my tour, including the second leg of my Tampa tour, as I got to see the first ever match of two brand new women's clubs in the USL Super League, Tampa Bay Sun and Dallas Trinity.
It's in! The first ever Tampa Bay Sun goal!
And their stadium is also makeshift in of itself. They sunk a few $1 million into making a high school stadium into a pro-level pitch. Was it a perfect debut? No, the Sun needed to work on some game day experience things.
It's brutal.
But they already have, to their credit. And it was a sellout, which made the president of the league happy.
10,000 fans last night in Charlotte. We were sellout in Spokane, Washington, too, actually. The Spokane Zephyr hosted Fort Lauderdale United last night. So we've had 3 sellout games this weekend. I think it's an indication of how excited the fans are for women's professional soccer. And this weekend is a demonstration that people want it.
But then you get a glimpse of what the future of lower league soccer in America can look like. Louisville City play in this magnificent riverfront stadium near downtown. And it was perhaps because of this stadium that they lured a big fish into America. Eintracht Frankfurt of the German Bundesliga for a friendly in late July.
Really exciting to finally see some top-level soccer here. We've been needing it, so I want to see how we fare against them.
We love everyone.
Yes, we love Louisville.
I'm very excited about it. It seems like a very cool opportunity. Louisville's compared to Frankfurt is a bum team. They're a farmers team, honestly.
Louisville, they have like the best fans, so we can get together. You know, we're good because we got love for our team, and that's the beautiful thing, and that's the point.
And I got whiskey from you guys.
I've been studying them. I play FIFA, so I mean, basically know a good amount already. Well, I mean, you know, we have Europa League winners here, and look where they want to come. They want to come here, really putting us on the map, so it's a big deal.
And I just hope it's going to be a really awesome game, and everybody's going to have fun. It's going to be peaceful. Nobody can hit each other and stuff.
Yeah.
So
no reason for the ultras to get rowdy today. It's friendly.
It's all love. It's
all love. It's more love.
Definitely.
We're going to spread the love.
Yes.
Love parade.
So the St. Louigans were right. Lower league soccer culture in America is starting to thrive. You just have to know where to look. And many of these clubs that you have seen in this video have only been formed in the last 5 to 10 years, with more being founded every single year, including this upcoming season.
And that's not even including USL2 and other local clubs that are sprouting up everywhere. I'm the public address announcer for USL2's St. Charles FC, which were very competitive in their division and actually knocked off a club that made it all the way to the USL2 finals in their own backyard. Literally, this is me at Peoria City, sitting in the away supporter section, which was, well, I'll tell you.
Just me and the trees.
I also have embraced ATAR FC out of Belleville, Illinois, a local club that may not be great on the pitch, but whose owners really embrace the community they live in and make a solid game day experience for anyone who attends, which is usually a couple hundred people. ATAR made the jump this offseason from the MPSL to the Midwest Premier League, a growing semi-pro league with clubs from the region.
In all of my travels, I have come away with this feeling that soccer is really about to take off in this country. I mean, look at me. I'm doing this part of this video in a car, this time to see a KC Current team that is breaking NWSL attendance records. Their stadium holds 11,500 people, and every single one of those 11,500 spots in the stadium have been filled by fans this season. A remarkable accomplishment in a brand new stadium with more just like it coming down the pike.
But let's go back to the answer to my original question. Was it all worth it?
Well, that depends on your definition of worth. For the most part, with the exception of the Louisville trip and this very little jaunt to KC, all of my trips have been money losers. gas can be expensive when you're driving 4, 5, 6 hours to a place. I usually avoid hotel rooms, but sometimes you can't avoid them, and those overnight stays can really add up. Now, I'm lucky to have media credentials to a lot of these games, including the one that I'm going to today in KC, but if I don't, I'm buying tickets just like you, and tickets and concessions, those can add up over time as well. And while I'm grateful that this channel is monetized, I don't have a sponsorship deal, and while interest in soccer is developing, that hasn't translated to big YouTube views like vloggers in England tend to get.
And it's not just because I'm newer to the game. Popular YouTuber DeBronco recently put out a video explaining why he had to give up his MLS tour, and you'll notice a familiar theme.
It comes to a halt, unfortunately, because of one word. Money! That shit is expensive now. I calculated like my expenses, like how much I made on the video versus how much I spent, and I am in a super duper severe negatives on the monetary side when it comes to those videos. I am down tremendously, and I sat back and looked at it and added it all up. I was like, yeah, I can't keep doing this, bro. I ain't made of money now. You see the views on the channel, a lot of y'all, for some reason, bro, a lot of y'all think I'm rich, like I made out of money. I wish.
So that is a reason why I always add, if you happen to be in one of these cities, whether it's Tampa, Omaha, Louisville, wherever, if you're already in these places, then yes, go check out a soccer game, because I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing what I do just because you love soccer and you want to be a groundshopper. Unless you just have big piles of money lying around, then by all means.
But as I look back on things 4 months after I recorded that part, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that these trips weren't worth it. Yes, I sunk money into them. I did have some discretionary money to do that, but I gained a new appreciation for the game and got a first-hand look at where this game is going in America, and hopefully you did too. Look, there's a feeling as a soccer fan that you get that you just don't get with any other sport. A sense of community, a sense that this is your club out there representing you and your community, representing your city, representing your state, whatever. And thousands of others are all gathered in this one place, cheering them on, chanting, singing, doing what they can to help their club get over the top. But soccer is starting to put its own hooks in the younger generation, and I saw it with my own 2 eyes on my journey. In Louisville, this kid was fervently shouting for Frankfurt's Mario Götze, a solid player, but not one I would consider a superstar or anything like a Harry Kane or even a Lionel Messi. Back to my little cousins, I asked Cooper before the game if he could name a soccer player, and he immediately blurted out Messi. That's perfectly fine. I do have a running gag in my videos where I find Messi jerseys out in the wild, but I can't deny the effect that he's had on the game. But when I asked Cooper if he could name a baseball or a hockey player, he couldn't, at least not right away. And you think soccer doesn't have its hooks on this young Union Omaha fan? He loves the game, doesn't he? But these adventures are something that I legitimately enjoy. I love experiencing new things, and trips like these are the main thing that my discretionary budget goes towards in my life nowadays. I get to use my time, my energy, and what talent I do have to shed some light on soccer in America and what I witness for myself. Hopefully that educates you as well. I worked 14 years in journalism before this YouTube venture, so I enjoy both entertaining you as well as informing you and being a guy that does both, and I really do appreciate your support. And you know what?
I'll fucking do it again.
In 2025, although this time I'm going to spread things out a little bit better. Here's what I can confirm so far. San Diego FC plays its first ever regular season home match on Saturday, March 1st against my beloved St. Louis City SC. I've got my plane ticket, I've got my hotel booked, and I'm going to be there to cover this historic day for San Diego fans. On April 5th, St. Louis City plays its hated rival Sporting KC at Children's Mercy Park. These two teams only play each other twice this season, one home and one away, and you better believe I'm not missing this away day. Just under a month later, Rhode Island FC plays its first ever home match at their new waterfront stadium, the Stadium at Tidewater Landing, on May 3rd. I'm going to be there along with the first ever supporter section member on this channel, Dave Cotton, for that one. We're also going to go to Portland, Maine the next day to see Portland Hearts of Pine's first ever home match in League One 1 day later. Still working on some logistics for that one, but I've locked in this weekend otherwise. And this handsome devil is Kane, and look at him sporting that Oliver York Soccer Zombie jersey. Kane, by the way, goes to games in case you didn't know him on social media, and because of his generosity of allowing me to crash on his couch in Denver, I will be able to attend the Colorado Rapids versus St. Louis City SC game on May 24th. This will be my first visit to a Colorado Rapids game, so I'll do a proper away day review for this one as well. The FIFA Club World Cup comes to America, and I'm currently just going to one game. This time I'm going with Jake Henry, who is a big Bayern Munich fan, as Bayern Munich takes on Auckland City at FC Cincinnati Stadium on June 14th. I just can't avoid the random Bundesliga matchups, I guess. And this other one that I can confirm is a trip to see the Chicago Fire on August 16th when they take on my St. Louis City SC. This will also give me a chance to do my first away day review of the Fire and Soldier Field. But besides that Chicago Fire game, I really don't have much ironed out past that Bayern Munich game in June. That's because I kind of like to be spontaneous. Things pop up during the season. For instance, this Frankfurt-Louisville game last year didn't pop up until later on in the season. I also made a spontaneous decision to ride along with a friend to the Rhode Island Indy 11 game, as well as riding with a carpool of friends to the NWSL Championship. Sometimes these opportunities just pop up during the season, and it's a way to save money, hang out with friends, and just sometimes being spontaneous is half the fun. Now, there are a couple regulars that I have not confirmed yet. Indy 11, Louisville City, I will see you both at some point this year, I guarantee it. I may also stop by Lexington SC as well. It's their new stadium in the USL Championship, their first season there. I want to check them out as well. I do need to make my annual Union Omaha pilgrimage at some point with my friend Mike here, but we're currently looking at a couple of different dates for that as well and haven't locked down anything yet. Also, the St. Louigans will make their annual Forward Madison pilgrimage at some point this year, and I know they're eyeing a couple dates for that, including June 7th versus Union Omaha. Well, this just got awkward. And of course, I will definitely be swinging by another KC Current game at some point. Maybe I check out the NWSL Chicago Stars or Racing Louisville as well. Maybe if I can rope it in with another game with their male counterparts.
And these journeys have also helped me grow this channel and meet a lot of you as well, which is its own benefit. I love the community that we're building here on this channel, and really, if you do enjoy this type of content, please make sure to drop a like on this channel. It helps get this out to more people like you. And drop a comment below on where you see lower league footy going in America, and if you'd like me to hit up your city in the future. And if you want to help me get to all these places, consider becoming a member of my supporters section. It's just 99 cents a month, and it's 22 members strong, including the newest member, Matthew Gibbs, who signed up after a recent St. Louis City video I did. I'll have more of my St. Louis City plans for this channel coming up in a future video. But thank you, Matt, for signing up, and everyone else that has so far. All your support really adds up, and it really does help me get to games like the ones you saw earlier. In fact, this guy right here is one of the guys in my supporters section, Brad Whiteside. I appreciate you keeping us safe by keeping us on the road and driving today while I vlog. This has been your soccer zombie, Tom Franklin, and by the time this video comes out, the KC Current video will be out, so I'm going to drop it right on top of Brad's head. I hope this doesn't result in a car accident. Be careful there, be careful. It is kind of hard to drive with a video on top of your head, isn't it? Hopefully this video actually comes out and we don't get into an accident. Hopefully. Maybe.